Hi, welcome to GameScape3D. This month we're going to go ahead and do the breakdown of our model before we get it all painted up. I printed it all in one color, so I think it's pretty easy to see. So we'll go ahead and get to it. We're also going to be going over a new starter kit we're putting out and a couple other odds and ends that will be attached to this month's release. Due to the size of this month's release, we're not going to bother moving over. We're just going to stay right here on this table. You can see I got a couple of the glow crystals printed up here. You'll also just be able to put in a normal stalagmite top if you don't want to deal with lighting. So we'll start with that. I'll provide a link, just like I did last month, where you can find these little lights on Amazon for real cheap. The top tier here, I'll flip that over for you so you can see where the lights easily insert. So you see these stairs going up the side. The stairs are all playable. You should be able to find a way to get your stands to sort of latch in there anywhere you want to put them on the stairs. You should be able to get them to balance in there all right. The inside on this top level is hollow because there's not really enough playable space in there. At this point, we get down to the third level. Get some of this stuff out of here. This is kind of your observation platform for the gladiator pit on this Colosseum. Go ahead, I haven't glued these on yet. These will be simple FDM print fences. You can glue as many of them as you want on there, or not glue any if you don't want them. What I've done here is I've glued the platform into two parts. So this is one part. This is just a walkway room right there with some interior stair access. This is the one stalagmite that doesn't house any kind of lighting. I'll provide an alternate cut for this section right here because it's kind of a long print. So if you're comfortable with doing a 26-hour print, you can use the original one. Otherwise, I'll have that cut in half for you. Here's the other side of the observation platform. And get that out of the way. This takes us down to the gladiator pit and the prison cells. When we hold this up, we have a prison cell right here, prison cell right here. We have slide-in doors. Those can either be resin printed or FDM printed. And they'll slide into place. This is kind of a doorway to the outside. This is where non-forced participants would enter the gladiator pit from this area right here. You can see there's a little observation area below the main observation deck. There's little inserts there, and those will be resin printable or FDM printable bar windows. So minis can sort of sit beneath and watch fights through the windows if they want to. And then our final layer right here is going to be the Tavern layer. We'll get you some Tavern furniture next month. Thank you. So here's our base layer. You can see it's pretty big in there. The door just slides in and out like all the other structures that we've released for this series. Let me get a tape measure so I can let you know how big that Tavern area is. Looks like we got 16.5 one way and 15.5 the other, so pretty big play area. You'll notice that I have some pillars in here that have dovetail slots on there. So there will be some optional walls that you can slide in if you want to drop in a couple extra rooms. I'm still working on those, so I can't show them to you today. Okay, so this next month we're going to be releasing a new starter kit. The starter kit will be 100% resin printable. Each month for the next 6 months, you're going to get a new primitive building that would be useful in an Arctic sort of setting, something people might throw together so that they can have a place to hang out in sort of a harsh environment while they go off to do whatever dungeon dives they're doing. Now this set is going to feature, the first set we put out is going to feature 4 sets of floor spikes and 4 sets of fencing as well. And I'll be giving that to you. The Chidu Box files will also come in a 35% reduced size. That way, you know, you can have the larger fences if you got a bunch of ogres coming or something, right? But if you have a more domestic situation where maybe there's some goblins coming to steal the sheep, you'll have these smaller fences that are a little less obstructive. That'll work nice for those sorts of situations. We're going to be releasing ballista for your dark elf walls. There's going to be a large ballista. You're going to have both the loaded ballista and the unloaded ballista. Okay. There's also going to be a Greek style light ballista. The same thing, loaded and unloaded. All right. And we'll have 2 different heights of tripods for those. This is really meant to be sort of a one-man operated ballista, like a super heavy crossbow, really. You'll also be getting 4 tree stumps. I've modeled the tree stumps to imitate the look of tree stumps when they're cut down by an axe, so it's not those smooth ones. It's a minor detail, but maybe it'll appeal to some of you. Okay, so there'll be 4 tree stumps, and then a couple of pieces from our previous worker kits. Okay. All right, so that's kind of the fast and sloppy overview of next month. We have a whole bunch coming out, obviously. Big, huge Colosseum / Tavern, the new starter set, and the ballista. So pretty exciting month. And I expect the next months will be pretty exciting as well. In terms of tips on putting this thing together, get your favorite epoxy. A lot of times when you're printing these parts out, the first layer will be a little extra thick because a lot of people set their nozzles to kind of put out a little extra filament so that the model will stick to the plate well. So if you have that little bit of flashing on that first level, make sure you either cut or file or sand that off, and that'll help a lot to make sure the pieces go together nice. Other than that, the only suggestion I can make is if you're not very comfortable filing or cutting your pieces, you might want to invest in some matte style PLA filament. I find the matte style, whatever they put out, whatever they put into it or take out, it's a lot more buttery when you go to cut it or grind on it than the regular PLA. So let's see, I think that about covers it. Looking forward to next month. I want to thank everyone for their input on the polls. It looks like we'll be getting out some stuff for the tavern, furniture-wise, and we'll also be getting out some type of market area for the Underdark. The market stuff was really in high demand, so there'll be a bunch of small assets, of course, and then a bunch of larger assets that'll sort of define Underdark market area. Okay, so thank you for stopping in, and we will see you all again soon. Thanks for your support.